Set up since I failed another challenge. Great. Ba, 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 ba. Grab yourself a cup of tea or whatever. Newcastle losing just fucking proper ruins your bastard day. Reet, not gonna lie, a little bit anxious about getting all this done over the next few days, but we move. As much as I really wanted this to be one of those videos where you say, oh my god, it's an hour left, I'm gonna do it. It's not happening. Welcome in, my name's George Fist. Grab yourself a cup of tea or whatever else it is you like to drink, and this time let's paint some more hammer. I have in front of me, and you're probably seeing some B-roll of it now, a Seraphon Spearhead. I have built, done some conversion on the bases, and I have sprayed them. I have one weekend to paint these. Why? Because I've chose to. No other reason. Granted, this is a UK bank holiday weekend, so there is 3 days in that weekend, Saturday, Sunday and Monday. But, and to show I am not lying, I have kind of pissed around today, and it is almost 2 o'clock on the Saturday. So realistically, I have 2.5 days. Today is probably going to be a bit of a, I think we need to get to a certain point in order for this to succeed. The way I say today, day one, is I need to get to a point where tomorrow and Monday is more of like a finishing off day because of the time scale and stuff I've got. We need to go for quick wins. Hence why you are probably seeing me right now sponging some white onto the dinosaur. I don't know what this dinosaur is called. To be honest, I just quite like Spearhead. I've got to play some with my wife at D6, which we'll cover later on in this video. But it's all about quick wins. Today is going to be about utilising speed painting technique and about making sure that we are getting what we want to do over the next few days and get to do some fun over the next few days. For me, that is going to involve sponging a lot and using an airbrush to achieve what I need to achieve. I'm starting off with some Pro Acryl titanium white, and I am just sponging this onto areas where I know there'll be light and I know the dinosaur's skin will be a bit brighter. By doing this, I'm achieving, once I do the airbrush step, a highlight at the same time as providing the actual skin colour. A huge way to get a bit of a quick win in. I thought I'd jump you in here and just demonstrate where I'm sponging and why I'm sponging. So I used a zenithal highlight for this. And as you can see, there is a brighter spot obviously on the top, and underneath you can see it gets a bit darker. Now, I'm also going to use some ice yellow next, and I'll bring you back for that step. But I'm looking at where the actual zenithal has hit. So faces are probably the exception, where I'm going to want bright white patterns, or bright green patterns should I say. But I'm looking down on top of the miniature and I am sponging on white where I know the zenithal is at its brightest. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with ice yellow, and with that ice yellow I'm going to look at areas where, like underneath this shoulder pad, where there was some zenithal but not quite as much. I'm going to come in with that ice yellow. I'm going to sponge in some of that. So I will still get a greenish pattern there, but actually what I'll end up with is a darker green pattern. So I'll end up with that erratic highlighting, that more natural looking highlighting, but it'll be not quite as bright, and it'll actually be a bit of a darker green, which will be, hopefully, will look quite nice across the whole army. Done the airbrushing. For an update on time, it is currently 5:10. My airbrush that I usually use, the shit you paint with, I've just slammed the needle into the thing. For some reason, isn't working. I need to fix that before I crack on to the next step. But they're all sprayed. I still haven't fixed his spear. I need to fix that. Just absolute. I've had a nightmare today. We'll keep going. We'll hopefully get our goal of being ready to just sit down and paint over the next few days. By the end of the day, probably going to call it about 10 o'clock, depending on how long it takes us to fix that and stuff. So I am now showing you sort of after the airbrushing. The reason I'm showing you this guy is because you get to see the two different perspectives. You get to see the actual green and you also get to see the purple. Now you can see using the sponging and spraying on different layers, you get lighter spots and different patterns on the actual purple and on the green, which just helps us to do, it sort of highlights and it helps us to get some quick wins on the skin. All of this mucking about and all of everything else, that takes us to 8:45 on the Saturday. So we are going to now take AK Precision Panel Liner, the sepia variant to be precise, and we're going to get that onto the miniature. It is going to go into all the little cracks, so you need to shake this up well, as far as I'm aware. And then, once it's all shaken up, I'm going to take it out. It comes with a nice long thin brush, literally pop it in, and then the viscousness of it all spreads. It helps to define those gaps in between. Rub a little bit off. And I do believe that this is enamel, not acrylic based. So the reason that I'm getting this all done now is this is going to take a little while to dry. And this sort of sets what up for success tomorrow. This is me clocked out for tonight. I'm probably going to finish whenever this is done, so it'll be late. But I'll speak to you all in the morning, and that is when this challenge properly kicks off, properly starts. Welcome back to day 2 of the challenge. I have awoken, I have went out and lifted weights, and I am now back home. As you can clearly see, I pin washed the miniatures last night, and that took way longer than I thought it was going to. We were at midnight-ish, maybe later, before I got into bed. Not ideal. It's the last day of the season, so I'll be having football on later on. So I think the way I'm going to look at this today is we need to do base coats. So we need to get base coats down. And I think the way we're going to do base coats is all of the weapons are going to be a gold metallic. I'm going to start by painting them all with a brown so that they just are done and out the way, and then I can sponge on gold to give them a little bit of a sort of a grim doggy brown. Anything that is skin as well is also going to be sort of a dark brown, and anything that's like a fabric or leather or whatever, I think I'm going to make just like a leather brown. And then finally all of the little claws and little teeths and stuff that I can get to, they are all going to be a sort of body colour. I don't actually realise looking through, I don't really have any body colours. Now these minis are quite light in terms of the the green and stuff, and I kind of want to stay on that theme. I'd like them to be quite bright. Obviously the purple's quite bright, quite dark, so I'm probably going to go with, for all the skin, onyx skin from the Army Painter. It's a nice brown. It's still on the darker side, but it's a little bit warmer than the next one down, so I'm going to get that painted on them today. Also, are you on the Lick Your Brush crew or not Lick Your Brush crew? Love to know in the comments. I might actually switch now. I've seen it to the darkest brown. I think this is too light. I think it looks too much like leather. So we're going to switch to Army Painter Obsidian skin. I'm going to get this all blocked in, this skin. I'll probably bring you back after the fact. I'm a bit shaky today. It was a deadlift day and stuff, so I've used quite a lot of exertion, quite a lot of force today, so I'm quite shaky. So today might be more of a challenge than I was originally hoping for. For the next bit on the skin, we're going to take Army Painter Sepia Tone, and we're going to get that all over the brown bits we painted. We're using Sepia Tone as that is the paint we used for the actual pin wash, was a sepia colour. It's going to help to tie the skin in nicely with the green, with the recesses on the green, and it'll look nice as well once we come in and then we'll do some highlighting as well. So we'll come back for the highlights. I am bringing these in because I think the plan, the strategy is changing. When I look at these, and I'll show you after the fact, the thing that's striking for me on these miniatures is definitely the skin, and then I think what can help tie them in to their environment and help tie in that realness to sell what they are, where they are, who they are. There's also the base. So I think what I need to do is to tackle the skin. I think I need to start tackling the bases. So that would be getting, I think, some of the paint down, some texture paste down to help start to sell the effect of the sandy desert that I'm trying to create. Once the skin and the actual bases are all finished, I think we can then come in and we can start to look at doing the weapons, the chair, etc. Those are the things that I'm probably just going to do a base coat on and the sponge and a wash and try and sell gold. And I think if we can nail those things, the base and the skin, it's going to put us in a really good stead for tomorrow. I think those are going to be the focuses today. I am going to get up and go for a little bit of a walk because I've almost finished doing the base coats on the skin, and it's important even in challenge like this to make sure to stretch your legs, help as well. And I'll bring you back to show you the next step of the skin once I'm sort of done. Obviously, earlier on, I put this onyx skin on the palette. So we're just going to take some of this onyx skin and we're going to start blocking in some highlights on the skin. So I'm going anywhere where there's raised, I've thinned it down with a bit of water, and I'm just putting some, sketching on some highlights just to the skin to give it a little bit more complexion. Thing is, it's on one of the warmer days of the year now. Keeping your brush tip is getting harder and harder, which is a pain in the arse. So I'll get these highlights done. I'll review where I am in terms of time and stuff. We'll have a look at where I am in terms of time, and we'll go from there. Ba, 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 ba. Newcastle losing just fucking proper ruins, you bastard deal. Right, I need a colour for these flipping claws. Do I go for a traditional white or do I go for something more bony? I don't really have anything bony, to be fair. Steel Legion Drab is probably the closest thing I've got to a bone. Probably going to have to go with Steel Legion Drab. And the teefies then we can do in a different colour at a different time. Right, as you've probably heard there, we are going to go for Steel Legion Drab for all their little claws. Including the claws on the little tootsies. Essentially, it's going to be the claws that are down here on their toes, and if any of them have claws on their fingers that I can see and are available to paint, I'll probably paint them as well. It will be the idea. So let's get these started. The toes starting to get done, and then obviously at points there is claws available there, so we'll also try and get a little bit on them as well, if the claws are available to paint. I'm going to go around, get all these done, the teeth and stuff will get done with a different colour. I've just recorded all of this and the audio wasn't fucking working. And the camera's died. I'm going to go put the camera in charge. The base of these guys is green. And a bit of an oversight, I did not buy any fucking sand coloured paint for me sandy bases. So I have this. I have the Sandy Desert from AK Interactive. I am going to get this on all of the bases, then go have some tea and spend a little bit of time with my wife. And then go from there and hope for the best. I think tonight, if I can get, say, half of the base coats done for metallics, we're going to be in a decent spot. But I need to get to that point. So I'm going to crack on and get this done. I'll bring you back when the camera's charged. I've had my tea and this is dried on the bases. Speak to you soon. Next, I think, is weapons and armour. I think these things are the other things that are going to help to sell that sort of complete but not really look. To help tie towards the skin and stuff of the actual miniature, I'm going to take obsidian skin and I'm going to paint that on all of the armour parts, all of the weapons, all that sort of stuff. We'll come back in later to sell it as gold. So it's going to involve a lot of it. Oh, by the way, the texture paste is down. It's not quite dry and everything yet, and we have got a way of bringing out the texture in a bit. But for now, we're going to go in with obsidian skin. The idea behind this one is we're going to paint up everything. We are going to sponge on a gold or paint on a gold, because gold covers nicely over brown. Now when we've painted this and we then do the gold metallic, we'll then go in with a wash and then a sponging or a stippling of a different gold, a brighter gold, which will help sort of sell that mysterious effect. If we have time, we'll make the gold and these miniatures have some sort of magic effects and stuff on there. Maybe pick out things like these gems and we'll make them look a bit nicer as well. This is probably going to be my last job of tonight. I'll do a bit of a sign off at the end, let you know how far through I ended up getting, but this will probably be my last job of today. I can't even remember the last time I checked in. It has been a while. It is pretty much just going past 11. I've got 3 of the brown base coats done on all the metallics. So that's 7 of those guys to go. Obviously the big guy and the medium guys. Shit. I guess we go again tomorrow. Morning people, it is day 3 of the challenge. We are still very much just doing the metal bits. I'm trying to get the metal bits ready for painting. As you can see, last night I managed to get through 3 of these metal bits. 3 Seraphon worth of these metal bits. That's not great for how long it took, but I am just going to get my head down, crack on. My hair's all over the shop, my beard's all over the shop. It's early. I want to try and get the challenge done today. I will do my best to get this challenge done today. So I think I'll bring us back for the next few steps in the metallics. I mean, I like the way they're looking, to be honest with you. I really do. I'm just concerned about the time it's taking.
1 eternity later.
Set up since I failed another challenge. Pain in the arse. Get that door shut. Oh, good up there. These lights on so you can see things. Nice angle. Well, I know, I failed again. But I have come up with some cool models. And as you can see, the studio is an absolute shit tip. I've got you up at a weird angle, don't worry about it. So, I need to do some tidying up. And I thought this would be the ideal time. You will have briefly saw at the beginning some b-roll of the absolute bad lads. Start by putting these away. Let's talk through what went on. So, obviously you've seen the b-roll and stuff of the Spearhead. The Spearhead does look fantastic. And yesterday I played in the Spearhead tournament at D610 CIC. Obviously, the partner of this video, the people I'm supporting with this video, he is a CIC. No money was exchanged or anything. He just, when I don't have a sponsor segment, I like to support him because he's doing some really good stuff for the local Warhammer community in the Northeast, and just some good stuff for the community in general, to be fair. So I like to give him support as and when I can. So yeah, played my first Spearhead tournament yesterday. It was really good fun. 3 games. It wasn't ridiculously strenuous, which was nice compared to like a 40k tournament, and just all around good vibes. I suggest if you get the chance to play some Spearhead, do it with some local people. It's good fun. Doesn't require a bunch of effort. It's an easy game to relatively learn if you already know how to play Warhammer, and it's an easy game to pick up if you've never played Warhammer as well. So you should have the hang of it. I've got the hang of it within about 3 games because I know 40k, and you can probably get the hang of it in about 10 if you've never played a war game before. So let's go over why I failed this challenge again. So obviously, as you've seen at the beginning, the premise was I was going to paint a full Spearhead within a bank holiday weekend, 3 days in the UK, and I did not manage to do that. Part of that, I think, was the weekend itself. It was so warm. You're talking, I think it was getting up to like 25. In this room was close to like 28. And paint, wet palettes, wasn't even combating that. It wasn't humid enough. Couldn't work. The brush kept dehydrating. Pain in the arse is what it is. We'll move on. I got them finished in the end anyways. Just took a lot more time. This is how long after it's getting filmed, by the way. Such a good box. If you didn't get a chance to get it, I'm gutted for you, but it's such a good box, man. For the money, especially from D6, 22.5% off. I got it for 144, I think. And saw a lot of people say it's a bit shit, you don't get a big chunky rule book. Personally, I prefer that other than the law and the rule book the other way around. My preference. Obviously getting the cards and all the models are gorgeous. Before we continue on, I'm going to take you through, there'll be some B-roll over the top of this, of the painting. So the last little bit I did, so you saw me finish the metal. The metal looked really good, in my opinion. You saw me finish the metal. Very quick recap. Obviously everything was based in brown. I then did a AK quick gen bronze. That went over the whole thing. Managed to do that in 1 coat because of the 2 coats of brown. Then interestingly, because I've seen it online, so I thought I'd give it a go, and it seemed to work quite well. I did a really thin down wash of Guilliman flesh. Guilliman, however you say it, which is actually a contrast paint. And you know what it is? It looked really nice. it was really nice. It did work well. It gave quite a warm tone to the metal, which was nice. And then to finish it all off, I sponged over some army paint and gunmetal. Additionally, I did do this on the chair for the big guy as well, so he like sat on the throne. And for that, I based that in Pro Acryl dark warm grey, and then sponged on some of the army paint and gunmetal, just to give it a different tone, maybe look a bit stony and stuff like that. Afterwards, I moved on to the rope. And for the rope, I did base it with Steel Legion drab. I then washed it with army paint and sepia tone, and then I did some highlights with Rakarth Flesh from Citadel Paints. We then moved on to the tongue. The tongue, I just did 1 or 2 coats, depending on how deep I wanted it to go, of Mephiston Red from, again, Citadel. And then we did the teeth, which was 1 or 2 coats of Procil Bold Titanium White. I did this on the eyes as well. I base coated the eyes with this. Then to bring the teeth and the tongue sort of in line with the rest of the paint job, army painter sepia tone across the whole thing. Gives the teeth a bit of a darker look, sort of, so they're not standing out as if they've just had turkey teeth done. I think it's time for you to have a look. You are seeing the models now. I mean, in my opinion, they're gorgeous. I really like them. Really happy with them. I forgot to say I did add tufts as well. What can I say? For the time I put into them, which wasn't that much. It was more than I initially planned, but it wasn't that much. Realistically, I think if I didn't sleep all that weekend and it wasn't very warm, I probably would have finished the challenge, and I think they would have looked just as nice. So I'm really, really happy. I'm buzzing with them. Everyone loved them at the tournament, said they were really nice. What more can I ask for? Really, really happy. Thank you everyone for watching. This has been a good challenge, an enjoyable dip me toes into Spearhead, and yeah, I think I did a good job. I think the models look really nice. Let us know what you all think in the comments, what you maybe would have done different, how you might have done that in the time frame that was allotted. And please do hit that subscribe button and the like button. It makes a massive difference for us. Things like the desk and some of the products are in the description for you to be able to grab. If you want like a nice painted desk, so you can just put the paints in the drawers, they're in the description. Yeah, thank you everyone, and let's continue to hobby together.